Let's face it, everyone is exhausted from talking about politics, so we're going to skip the drama and dive into the buzzwords that are shaking up the economy in 2025. From taxes to tariffs, here's what's making headlines and why it matters. Number one, tax reform. The Tax Cut and Jobs Act first rolled out in 2017, and it is expiring at the end of next year. What's next? Republicans are battling to preserve provisions like the higher standard deduction and reduced corporate tax rates. New proposals include some eyebrow raisers, like exempting overtime and tips from income taxes. While these ideas may sound great for your wallet, their $4.6 trillion price tag is raising serious questions about fiscal responsibility. As Congress debates, accountants everywhere are bracing for impact. Number two, government debt. Here's a party no one wants to attend: the national debt crisis. With federal debt nearing levels that make credit card bills look quaint, policymakers are searching for ways to avoid economic catastrophe. Whether it's cutting spending, or raising taxes, or kicking the can further down the road, the choices ahead could define this decade. Meanwhile, the Congressional Budget Office warns that extending tax cuts without offsets could lead to even more borrowing. No pressure, Washington. Number three, interest rates. After years of steep hikes to combat inflation, 2025 might finally bring some stability. The Federal Reserve is walking a tightrope, trying to keep the economy humming along without sending borrowing costs through the roof. Mortgage rates remain high, and credit card debt isn't looking any better. Markets are holding their breath to see if the Fed's cautious optimism will pay off, or they'll have to pivot again. Number four, tariffs. What is a tariff anyway? A tariff is simply a tax one country places on another for importing or exporting their goods. Proposals for 2025 include steep increases on Chinese imports and maybe even a universal 20% tariff on all goods. Latest reports include a 25% tariff on anything from Canada and Mexico. Advocates say tariffs could boost domestic industries like manufacturing and EV production. They also can serve as a strong negotiation tactic when addressing other issues like border security. Critics, however, warn of rising consumer prices and potential inflationary effects. Translation: get ready to pay more for your gadgets if these policies become reality. Let's hope the US trade policy comes with a dose of nuance. And finally, the stock market. Is the bull back? With interest rates potentially stabilizing, investors are buzzing about the return of a bull market. The S&P 500 is flirting with all-time highs and has had 2 consecutive years of plus 20% returns, something that has only happened 8 times since the 1950s. Some analysts are making bold predictions about growth opportunities, particularly in sectors like tech and renewable energy. But with global economic uncertainties and the looming debt ceiling, volatility remains the name of the game. So should you double down on your portfolio or start hoarding canned goods? The answer lies somewhere in between. That's it for this week. This is Jeannie, the 401k lady.